Just a heads up to you folks sitting with a notebook and pen, Mishki, the new podcast here in Garage Logic Land, is now coming out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. If you're in fact scribbling this down, Wednesday is kind of tough to spell. It's not like it sounds. You want to spell it W-E-N-Z, but that, of course, would be a mistake. Friday is spelled just like it sounds. You're going to be okay there, but Wednesday's a bugaboo. Let me tell you, people, just a pain in the patootie. Jeez, it's hard.
This is the Weekly Scramble, a place where we chat about life over a cold one or two. It's time to belly up to the pod with Mike Fratelloni and your host, Chris Reavers.
That's right. It's time for the Weekly Scramble podcast. My name is Chris Reavers. With me, as always, his name is Mike Fratelloni. Hello, Michael.
I forget, Reavers, that we are on YouTube because I make faces into the camera to see myself, and then I realize that we're live. So the very beginning of this, if you didn't see this, if you were just listening to it, you would have seen me making like a Silence of the Lambs weird face with my chin because I was trying to make my skin straight and not wrinkly.
And that part will not bother me whatsoever because that's what I love about you. But if you start doing the rookie where you think you make a funny line and then you stare into the camera thinking you're going to get a response.
Oh, like someone's going to clap?
Right.
Like you're going to see people.
Like it's an episode of Seinfeld?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
He's breaking the third wall, right? So when he looks directly into the camera like, you heard me do this. But you can find us on YouTube.
Yes, you can. Find us on YouTube. And you can find us on YouTube because there's a couple of stories I'm going to bring up today that I think is going to make my guy over here a little animated.
Oh, good.
And not that I try to do to you what I try to do to Joe 5 days a week. That's not my point. But you know, when you're doing a show, you're trying to elicit a reaction.
Sure.
And you and I have pretty good chemistry in that regard. And you know what buttons push or what pushes my buttons, and I know what pushes yours.
Sure.
And the first story I'm going to bring up, I think, is going to somewhat push both of our buttons.
Oh, good. Let's start it up.
Because here's the thing. I, along with you, have lived in the state of Minnesota my entire life, right? Okay, that's what I thought.
Born in St. Paul.
And so I've lived here my entire life. There's very many parts of it that I still love, near and dear to my heart. I spent almost all weekend in my beloved hometown of Faribault, Minnesota this past weekend. Had a great time. But there's certain parts of it that make me go, well, I don't agree with that, or I don't really want that. And I saw this story surface in Minnesota's Star Tribune.
All right, let's hear it.
And I thought, this has got the Weekly Scramble podcast written all over it. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a brand new club and a community that's building here in the great state of Minnesota. It's called the Twin Cities Scream Club. Yes, Scream Club. It's building community through relieving stress. Hollie Carr, she started the group after seeing a Chicago Scream Club on TikTok. Many people found her group the very same way. Are you here to scream? Hollie Carr asked people who strolled by her Sunday night as the sun began to set near the Cedar Nichols Trailhead in Burnsville. Carr founded Scream Club Twin Cities, Minnesota in early August. The group travels to different lakes, rivers, and streams every week to scream across the water. And they're always looking for new participants. Screaming is inclusive of everyone, Carr said. It doesn't matter what your issues are or what your stress is. Our goal is to scream in the community. The club meets on Sundays at 5:30 p.m. and performs some deep breathing exercises before they scream 3 to 5 times in group shouts.
Wow.
Carr tries to warn boaters and
We're going to be screaming over here, so don't get alarmed. We're going to be screaming.
Carr tries to warn boaters and anglers prior to the shrieks. The group started on August 3rd with 2 screamers.
Ooh.
After one of the club's initial TikTok videos received more than 30,000 views. The club had more than 40,000 participants in its second week. 16.
No. Could have not had 40,000 participants.
Oh, I'm sorry. 40 participants.
Okay, I was going to say.
In its second week.
I was like, wait.
Sorry about that.
I was like, wait. They're drawing more people than the Twin.
The club had more than 40 participants in its second week. 16 showed, including a handful of repeat screamers for the third event on Sunday. Cedar Dawson, 39, said they felt the relief of screaming build after every yell. Quote, "It was a release I had been searching for They said. Each one was better than the last. They, by the way, is one person.
Yeah, well, they was not a pronoun. That was them saying that the writer writing it correctly.
You know what? Thank you.
Yeah, because that's not their pronoun. This is a non-pronoun.
Group.
This is just a group.
Okay.
This is just a group.
Each one was better than the last. There's a little bit of apprehension and awkwardness in that first one that just the more we did it, it felt like this is what it could feel like. The first scream was Bianca Neves' favorite. Quote, I don't think I've ever yelled not like that, the 25-year-old said. It was the first time in my entire life I had that experience. Both Dawson and Neves said that they would attend future meetings of the Scream Club and might even bring some friends and family. Participants for the Screams range from ages of 4 to 74. Some come with ear protection.
All right.
And others bring baked goods for the group.
Oh, good.
It is scientifically proven that screaming is beneficial to people's mental health, said Dr. Ziad Nahas, Executive Vice Chair and Professor in the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences at the University of Minnesota's Medical School. It's especially healthy since people tend to breathe deeply before yelling, he said. A deep breath can help you relax, Nahas said. Undoubtedly, that immediate effect of the breath, slowing down the heart rate, focusing on something different, all of those play into feeling relaxed. Screaming can feel exhausting at first before it is relaxing, similar to exercising, he said. I'm almost done. Carr said she started the group after seeing a Scream Club Chicago TikTok because Minnesota has so many lakes, Carr said. She hopes the club can travel. When we scream at the water, it feels like we're offering our emotions to something bigger than ourselves, letting the water carry them away, she said. The reflection of sound off the water also gives a sense of being heard and echoed back. The Scream Club is one of the many groups popping up in the Twin Cities, specifically focused on bringing people together for outdoor weekend activities. Isabel Olson started the Sunday Morning Club in May, an organization based on bringing women together to walk. The club averages 75 to 100 participants. I'm seeing new faces every walk we do, and I'm seeing familiar faces as well, Olson said. It's been such a good way to meet new people. North Loop Girls Walk, another group focused on walking, started in 2024. Founder Sky Schrader said groups like these help build relationships, especially for people who are new to Minnesota. While the Scream group is not exclusively for women, the vast majority of participants tend to be women. I'm stunned. Carr, who was a personal trainer and yoga instructor, said one of the reasons she started the Screaming Club was to serve as a stress reliever. She said women, especially from her Gen X cohort, have historically been told to be smaller or quieter, something she thinks is not good for people. It's an outlet for releasing pent-up emotions and a healthy alternative to bottling things up. If you're doing it in a safe environment, she said, that is shared humanity. Carr said the club is about emotional release, nervous system regulation, and connection. John Osborne, a professor at the university's medical school who studies the nervous system, said there are added benefits to building a community around screaming instead of doing it alone. When people come together, like singing in a choir, in a group, or in a community, there's a lot of beneficial mental health aspects to that, he said. Getting together with a group, all screaming together, probably does the same thing. Neves said that she felt lighter after the scream. Some participants cried during the screaming. As the scream group grows, Carr hopes to make the hollering sessions year-round since Minnesotans aren't afraid to don winter gear. I would love to scream on a frozen lake, she said. I've never done that before.
Well done. Well done.
That is our slam poetry session for the week.
You're going to hate me for this.
Oh, God. Don't do this to me.
I love it.
Oh, my God.
Do you notice in that story, there was no partisan politics.
That's true. Yep.
She didn't mention with the earth warming.
Orange man bad.
Yep. And I truly, truly believe that screaming, not necessarily for a woman, I don't know what it does for a woman, but for a man, screaming at the top of your lungs does do something for you. It gets your testosterone moving. 100% it does. Have you ever truly screamed at somebody?
Wait a minute. I'm going to make a link.
Do it.
Here's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And correct any part of this that is inaccurate.
I'll do it.
You're saying that mostly, and she said in the story, mostly gals that are gathering and screaming at the river, the pond, the pool, the lake, whatever they're screaming at. You're saying that's the equivalent of us knuckle dragging Neanderthals going to a Vikings game.
Kind of.
Okay.
But I don't think you really scream at a Vikings game. You yell at a Vikings game. You don't scream, like full on screaming.
I see.
I would like to do a little test, right? If someone would go to this with a Donald Trump 2028 hat, 2028 hat, just to see if people would lose their mind, right? But I don't think that's this. I truly think, don't care what their politics are.
Sure.
I really think this could be helpful to people. And I do think there needs to be more community.
Stress
and I
relieving?
do think getting out there, if you're stress relieving and if people are feeling some benefit from this, who cares? Let them go do it.
Live and let live.
Remember when I went down to Jordan, Minnesota?
Yes.
To see the mini Met? I'm going to go to the Scream session one of these weekends.
I kind of thought that's where you were going.
I really think that would be people. I think there's something therapeutic to it. I really, really do. If you haven't screamed at the top of your lungs, not out of hatred, not of just gone out there and really screamed, it does something to your body. Something happens to your body when you do it.
Interesting.
And I think I want to go do it. I want to meet these people. Maybe make love to some of them. I don't know. Strange. Because you don't know what's going to happen when you scream out loud.
You
don't know.
It's like Fight Club. There's
you're
no
not even
rules.
supposed to talk about
When
it.
Scream
right?
Club, you just don't talk about Scream Club.
So I don't know. I think it might be better if it were just all women, because I think they might not like men screaming next to them.
I'm trying to think, because I'm not really much of a yeller.
Sure.
I'm really not. I don't yell at my kids. I don't yell at anybody. I don't yell at anybody.
Yeah. When was the last time you really yelled?
Honestly, as you were saying that, I was the last time that I can recall screaming like out loud.
Yeah.
So this would have been spring break of 2024. And we did the Four Corners. You know, the Four Corners, the four states.
Yep.
And so we went there. It was great. It was really windy. I mean, it was like, oh, this is going to blow me over kind of windy. But have you ever been there?
Yeah.
It's super
You
neat.
can stand in 4 states all in one.
But it's cool because part of it is like, if the wind is blowing correctly, there's an echo.
Sure.
And so, of course, what do us 3 boys do? Fart! You know, like
just
so
yelling.
we're screaming
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
right? And that's, I think, the last time I've...
But you're yelling. That's different than a guttural scream.
No, it was, it started
you
as
were
that.
screaming.
It started
Okay,
as that.
yeah,
And then, of course, I get the bright idea to say, fart, and then, of course, they have to copy
Fart,
me.
fart,
But because that's what boys do is make fart jokes. But other than that, I don't remember.
See, and I think there is something cathartic to it. I think this woman's onto something.
Okay.
I'm going to make a commitment to this. If this is still a thing in a couple of months, and I don't have anything to do. I mean, if I have nothing whatsoever to do, like nothing, I'm going to go to this.
Can I tell you though? And I want to get not serious for a minute, but I think part of what is plaguing this country is because there are so many people, that have way too much time on their hands. And I mean, not saying that you need to be working 24 hours a day, but, and maybe this is, when I say, go find a hobby, maybe that's what this is. Fine, whatever.
Get to meet other people.
But there's so many, and I'm not saying this disparagingly. I'm really not saying this disparagingly, but there are so many people that grew up in a normalized civil society that weren't part of a baseball team, that weren't in choir, that they weren't part of a group.
Sure.
So whether it's riding in the streets, the Scream Club, whatever it is, that's the first time that particular person has been accepted in a group setting.
All right. Don't we want those people to experience that?
Sure.
Oh.
Okay, sure.
What's the damn downside? Some people stand on the edge of the lake and they scream. They get a cathartic release. At the end of it, some of them are crying. Some of them said, oh, I met Jenny and Bob and Steve and Ken. What a great time. What's the damn downside?
So are you saying that I should just live and let the Scream Club happen?
No. I think we should go there, and potentially the Weekly Scramble should sponsor the Scream Club.
You know what? Here's the thing. We're both pretty busy until Labor Day, right?
Yeah.
And I think, you know what? If the Scream Club is still happening post-September or whatever the hell Labor Day is, I will absolutely go to Scream Club.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking too, is you know how they said sometimes you cry afterwards? You're a crier too. So I
do get emotional.
You know, I'm not going to lie, Reavers.
Yeah.
This might be exactly what you need. Because do you ever feel like the arms are just holding across your chest?
Boy, do I ever.
Right? And maybe this thing of just a full release of a powerful, powerful scream makes you feel. I've heard other people talk about this before, like other, the Tony Robbins type of guys, right?
Sure.
Talk about, hey, you got to do this. You have to. It actually releases testosterone. You don't need a Viagra. If you can go out and scream for a little bit, your body gets jacked up. I'm just saying it.
You're saying I'm back?
I'm just saying you're back. You're going to be full strength. Put me in, coach, is what you're going to say to the team.
Actually, you know what, Mike? You're a flippin' genius.
Yeah.
Here's why. Fellas, did you not hear what I just said? Most of this group is all ladies.
Yeah.
What if we make this happen? What if us bringing it up on our show and our millions of listeners, we have somebody out there that's looking for a mate, and they say, you know what? I'm going to listen to what Reavers and Fredoloni just said.
Going to the Scream Club.
I'm going to the Scream Club, and we make magic happen. And those two meet at Scream Club, and they live on for the rest of their lives in marital bliss.
I'm weirdly excited about it. I'm going to try to find where they go.
Did we just pull a 180 on Scream Club?
Yeah, I mean, I think I talked you into it because first of all, I pointed out very little downside. I can see
That
the
is
guy
true.
who's fishing, who's out on the boat.
Like, what the hell's going on
And then now,
over here?
and all the fish now are spooked because someone's screaming, right? But I can just see humanity saying, "This makes me feel better. It costs nothing. It's environmentally friendly." It doesn't have you.
Well,
meet some
you're in
other
Minneapolis,
people.
you have to pay for parking, so it's
Yeah,
going to cost you that.
I'm sure. Well, you had to take the train there or Uber or something. Well, Reavers, I really appreciate you bringing up that story because I think I need this. This might be what I need.
Now, okay, so it sounds like for the most part that this is happening within the sustainable urban core, right?
Oh, Burnsville, that was kind of low down. That was
but
kind of
that's
out of
still
town.
like, you're still
Let's get in Minneapolis.
But the point is, can you imagine if, let's just say, pick a random lake in northern Minnesota, and you just sat through 4.5 hours of traffic or whatever it was to drive that 82 miles to get to your cabin. You finally sit on, the kids are finally not screaming in the back seat. You get the car unpacked. You're ready to just sit down, start the grill, maybe throw a line in and open a beer. And you're finally like, okay, it's Friday night. It's almost going to be sunset. And I'm just going to sit here and chill and listen to the loons and the lake. And like I said, maybe watch the bobber for a minute. And then I'm going to be yelled at to get the burgers on the grill. And then you hear these 25 loudmouth whatever screaming at your leg. You're thinking, are you flipping kidding me?
It's a minute. It's a minute.
Is it though?
All right, can you scream for more than a minute?
Well,
Probably, I don't think I could.
But it never told us how long the sessions
I
may
assume
be.
it's just a couple of good screams.
But why would you make it a point to drive all that way to just let out one scream? Don't you think you'd want multiple screams?
Yeah, you get more out of it.
I mean,
I don't know.
I'm kind of if
You're
I'm
a multiple scream kind of guy.
If I'm going to do something, I'm going to at least want multiple screams out of it.
I can have one scream every 24 hours. That's really all
That's all you're good for?
The older I get, maybe every 48 hours, I'm good for one good scream.
Yeah, I would say in my prime, I was probably good for 6 or 7 screams.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Braggart. I'm going to tell you, I don't even know if I can scream anymore. My throat, just from talking all day and doing this show, and I love this show, my throat already hurts.
I will tell you this. You've seen me when the air quality was just horrendous.
Sure.
And I have asthma and my allergies are awful. I love summer, but these are the days when it's so humid and the air quality sucks. It does not make for a pleasant Reavers.
So you have bilateral scream weakness.
Oh man!
So you couldn't even make the team, Reavers. How sad is that? You wouldn't even make the scream team.
I would be like,
how embarrassing.
You know what I would be?
What? The Byron Buxton of the scream team?
No, I would be the guy that does the book.
Oh, you would be
for the
writing it
Scream
down.
team. That I wouldn't even be able to. I wouldn't even be asked to play.
Yeah. So what would you carry? Like you'd carry your glove if you went to the game, and your book. What would you carry if you maybe a throw up bucket? No, Kleenex for people that are crying. You'd have those.
I'd have that.
Yeah,
and I'd
you'd have
also
that.
probably have to have a megaphone.
Some lozenges. Right?
Yes.
Some people need that.
Some throat coat. Don't get cute with that. That's the honey, the tea that we
Didn't
always
know
take.
what that was?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that was a thing. Am I in podcasting? I should probably have that throat coat.
We have it down the hall.
Are you kidding me?
No, it's fantastic. If you ever are not, like if your throat is not up to speed, take that. You're good for like an hour.
Why did you never tell me about this?
I just assumed
the
you knew.
stuff that you know that you don't share with me is it could fill a small book, Reavers. See, that was pretty good. But see, that's funny. You did that, right? You did a little scream in here.
did.
That's not what they're doing. They're doing this guttural, full-on, frightening scream. This is a long way, and I doubt many deaf people are listening to this show, right? Have you heard deaf people scream? Have you ever heard a deaf person scream?
Wait, you're convinced that no deaf people are listening to our show? Okay, good.
I am convinced that they're not just watching us on YouTube.
Got it.
Closed captioned. Here's my supposition, Reavers, here.
Okay.
If you've never heard a deaf person scream or laugh, right? Have you ever heard a deaf person laugh?
I think I have.
It's a totally different sound.
Yeah.
There's no affectation to it. They can't hear themselves, so they're laughing what a laugh sounds like. They probably scream what a real scream sounds like. You and I have to do that.
Right.
Because we want to sound deep enough, like we're some kind of caveman, because we're thinking it out.
Yeah.
We want to just really release it. Maybe my scream is like something real.
More
I don't know.
high-pitched,
I don't know what it is.
Man.
So I think we got to do this. I think we have to sponsor them. I got a big yard. I could have everybody over to my house.
You should.
Just come on over.
Invite the masses.
Invite the masses for Scream Club at Fratelloni's. Let's work on that. Let's put that on a whiteboard.
All right.
Okay.
Let's talk first about our friends at We Are Nuts, because that's what everybody listening to our show right now is probably thinking, that we are nuts. And wearenutsmn.com, a local family-owned operation. It's the Burt family, and they're fantastic. It's family that sources only the highest quality nuts from the very best farms from all over the world, and is always innovating through their small batch creations, finding new flavor combinations that make each bite unique and always memorable. And it doesn't matter whether you're in the mood for maybe some toffee nuts, snack mixes, hokey pokey caramel corn, jumbo cashews, which, man, oh man, I've created a monster in my home with the jumbo cashews, by the way. They're so good. Also, the fancy deluxe mixed nuts and the chocolate-covered almonds, cashews, peanuts, pecans, pretzels, raisins, and so much more. You can see their entire lineup at their website, which is wearenutsmn.com. You can go into your local Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores locations and pick up your We Are Nuts. You can also see them at Max Hardware, Lunds and Barley's locations, Kowalski's locations, but they're a fantastic revelation, and I'm so glad we've partnered with our friends at We Are Nuts and wearenutsmn.com. Place your order today and make sure you mention that you heard about them on the Weekly Scramble podcast. We will be right back. You have a moment of the Scream Club you'd like to share with us? Go ahead.
3, 2.
Okay.
Scream Club Twin Cities performing. Again, I'm joining. I don't care what you say. I'm joining.
That's fine. That's fine.
Next
you know
story.
What? You know what? God bless them all.
Yeah, good for
God
them.
bless them one and all. All right, now, since that didn't get you going, I think this one very might well get you going. Michael, are you ready for me to
Let's do it.
To get you going here? Hang tight. I thought I had it pulled up, and apparently I don't. But the state of Minnesota, Michael, we've got some issues here in the state of Minnesota.
We do?
Yes, whether it's food fraud, whether it's, we've got all sorts of problems. But Alpha News unearthed this nugget, and I think Alpha News is considered trustworthy. I
think so.
I go there every single day. The state of Minnesota spent nearly $46,000 per person
46,000. Okay.
on welfare in poverty in the year of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Not only does welfare spending constitute the largest share of all spending, but it is also the fastest growing category in Minnesota's budget.
Nice. Wait.
Michael,
Okay.
the only state that outspent per person was the state of Massachusetts in this country for the fiscal year of 2023. So again, it might have been worse in 2024 and might be even worse in 2025, because I got news for you.
It's not going down.
When we talked to Pat Garofalo when he came in studio, that was a couple of weeks ago. And again, he's a centrist leaning right, because he's not a fan of certain aspects of the right. But he said, I screamed from the mountaintops that mass migration in this state when he was in the legislature. He said, folks, mass migration is a massive problem right now. We have to find a way to stop giving people a reason to leave the state, and virtually nobody would listen to him.
They can't come for welfare. They have to come for jobs and opportunity.
Yes.
And when they come for anything but jobs and opportunity, then we become a welfare state. I'm looking this up. It's according to the American Experiment, in 2022, the number was 40,000 per recipient. And now it's 46,000 in 2023. That's a 12% increase if I'm doing my math right.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot.
But it also strikes me as that's not sustainable.
No,
we can't keep doing this.
Here's a couple questions. Let me do this math, because why can I not do math on the radio? That just pisses me off.
You're actually pretty good at it. I mean,
but I don't think. Yeah, okay, I was close. 13% or whatever. Math does not. Every time that I listen to Garage Logic and you guys can't do simple math, and I'm sitting at home thinking, oh my God.
What is wrong with these idiots?
Did you not go to college?
Right.
Then I try to do it on the radio and it's freaking impossible.
Right.
I don't know what happens.
It's the same thing as when people say, well, you should have looked. Well, okay, it's one thing when I have time to look it up.
Yeah.
Read the entire article. But when Joe's staring at me saying, look that up, dummy.
Yes.
It's a different set of circumstances.
So here's the question that I have. So Minnesota spent nearly $46,000 on welfare per person in poverty, right? So does that mean the recipient of the welfare got $46,000? Or does it mean that everybody who has welfare, it costs us $46,000? So here's my point here, Reavers. How efficient is the state of Minnesota at processing a welfare payment?
All right, here we go. Every year, because I'm going to the site now. Every year, the U.S. Census Bureau publishes the annual survey of state and local government finances. This is the country's only source of state and local spending data, allowing a detailed state-by-state comparison. The survey also divides spending data into categories, making it possible to analyze which public services states prioritize. Overall, public welfare is the largest expenditure for most states. However, the level at which states prioritize assistance programs over other public services, such as roads and police, differs. Minnesota, for instance, has a massive welfare system, dedicating a larger share of its revenue to assistance programs than most states. Additionally, Minnesota ranks among the top states for poverty-adjusted welfare spending, making it one of the most generous in the nation. In 2022, as you mentioned, blah, blah, blah. And I gave you the update, 46,000 in 2023.
So, okay, you're going to where I'm thinking, right? It makes up, I just looked up this stat, 46% of our total spending goes to welfare payments, HHS. 46% of our total revenue, right?
Yep.
Here's what I'm not understanding is, let's say I'm on welfare and I get $46,000 worth of payments per year. Food assistance, housing assistance, however that all falls, I get $46,000. Thank you, Minnesota. That's very generous. How many more dollars did the state of Minnesota spend to give me $46,000? I bet you anything, it's $146,000 to send me $46,000. Am I understanding that right?
You are. And here's another thing. They're showing another graphic that I was not aware of until I was just reading this article. The share of direct general expenditure by category in Minnesota fiscal year 2023. You ready?
Yes.
Public welfare constituted 31% of the entire budget.
Okay, so I had it at 46% of HHS. Okay, go ahead.
This is adjusted.
Okay, so 30 what percent?
Almost, it was 30.9. Let's just call it 31%.
Okay. So here, I'm not saying this right, but I hope you're getting this. If we spent $3 billion on welfare in Minnesota, I'm making that number up. We spent $3 billion. Was it $2 billion to run the program and $1 billion went to recipients?
State of
Because I guarantee you, Reverse. I guarantee you it costs us more money to write the checks and run the programs than it does what the recipients get per person.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
The fiscal year budget. So get out your calculator.
Okay. All right, let me do this.
The fiscal year budget for the state of Minnesota for 2023. Well, it's giving me two figures. Let me just do this. It says $27.2 billion, but it also has a.
Is that that's every 2 years, right?
Right. So it was $27.2 billion. Whoops, sorry. Give me a second here. My computer is not cooperating. And then the 2-year budget was $54 billion.
So it was. Okay, so hold on. $27 billion. Look up for me real quickly how many people in Minnesota get federal assistance, Minnesota assistance.
Well, but here's how you can break this down.
Okay.
So that's 30%.
Okay,
do
times
31% of $27 billion.
$27 billion. I have to turn my calculator sideways. Times 0.3. That equals, hold on, 8,100,000, right? So we spend 8,100,000. How many people get federal assistance or Minnesota assistance?
Divide that by $46,000.
You're not understanding me. What I'm saying is we're not giving it all to the recipients. We're spending.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I bet you anything, if I had to write you a check through the state of Minnesota, and I had to just process a check, what does it cost me to process a check to send to you?
All right, then let's just do this. Let's just do this. What was $8 billion?
Let's keep the numbers fat.
$8 billion divided by 46,000 and just see what number pops up.
Okay, $8 billion divided by 46,000.
Yep. And that should give you...
That's, oh my God, 176,000 people.
So by that calculation, what this is telling me is they're trying to tell us that 176,000 people in this state are on welfare.
That's what it says. If we're doing the math right, but I still don't believe it.
And I don't either.
I still know. Remember when Walls wanted to do those great named Walls bucks?
Oh yeah, the Walls
And he
checks.
wanted to give everybody, at some point in time, it was $2,000, then $1,000, then $400, and then it was $200 at the end or something. It costs us, I'm making this number up, like $180 to process a $200 check. So I was like, okay, wait
a minute.
It costs us just as much to send the check out as it does to, the program costs us as the amount of the check. I'm not doing this math right. I will do the math later on, but look up how many people get welfare in Minnesota.
I'm going to get there eventually, but here's why I wanted to bring up the percentage of people that were on public welfare in the fiscal year of 2023, which was 31%. The second largest amount of money in that budget, Michael,
pothole repair,
was 20% that went to elementary and secondary education.
Mm-hmm. So we're spending 50% more on welfare than
we are on education. Yep. So that's right there. That's 50% of the entire budget is education and welfare.
Sure.
And you want to talk about overhead in terms of welfare because we're so top heavy, but all we keep hearing is we need more and more and more money for education.
Okay, so in Minnesota, on average, 453,900 people receive SNAP benefits each month during the fiscal year 2024. This represents 7.8% of the state's population. Okay, so what I don't believe, because I just don't believe it's real, I think we give $46,000 to somebody, and then it costs us another $100,000 to just run that program.
Oh, for sure.
I 100% believe that.
I believe you too.
And
yes.
when the governor says, hey, we're out of money, let's keep the welfare program the exact way it is. And all those layers of bull crap that we have to have in the system, that I guarantee you has to be twice as much.
Well, they're rife with fraud, too.
It has to be.
Yep.
Right? I wonder, and maybe we should get the people from, who do we have? American Experiment?
Yes.
We know those guys.
Yes.
I bet you anything they can answer this question. Right? Because it can't just be, I think
who did the story.
It was the American Experiment. They have to be able to tell us how much it actually costs to run these programs. It can't just be the $46,000 number. That's what the recipients of welfare are getting, I believe.
The next high, so again, 31% for public welfare, just over 20% for elementary and secondary education, 8% for highways and roads, 7% for higher education. I don't know what the difference would be if that's college and institutions, whatever. 6% health and hospitals, 3.7% for police.
Oh.
1.7% for corrections, 1.4% for housing and community development, and 1.1% for courts. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not angry with the state of Minnesota, you're not paying attention.
Sure. And I'm not pissed that people need help. You're not pissed that people need help.
Of course not.
Let's be as efficient about it as possible.
The problem is, and I think, I'm not trying to speak for you, but I think you would agree with me, it's not the fact that there are people out there that need help. We all understand that. Everyone faces tough times at certain points of their life. We totally get that. The problem is the vast majority of those people that are on that public assistance are here to absolutely scam the system.
Maybe. Like, okay. I'm not even disagreeing with you. I don't know. But if you're lazy and you don't want to get off your ass to get a job, you don't get it. You're going to get real skinny because you're going to starve to death. You got to get up and get a job. That's why.
You know what I'm going to do?
What's that?
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to quit my job. I'm just kidding, boss. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to join Scream Club, and I'm just going to live off the state. What the hell?
You're getting $46,000 a year in benefits. That's $23 an hour full-time wage. That's a pretty damn good wage.
Right. Why am I working?
Why am I working?
The hell?
Right? There comes a tipping point where that population, the 400 and some thousand people that are getting that, say, wait, I want to go up to $53,000 next year. I need to vote a certain way in this state, and someone needs to give that to them. I just keep getting stuck on what does it actually cost us to do this? How much does it cost to run those programs? We know it's just not one guy who says, oh, Reavers, you need welfare? I'll send you a check for $46,000 and it's done in that way. It's
right.
Layers and layers of bureaucracy that have to chew apart, and everybody gets paid. Reavers, this is one of those things that we have to understand better as society. Let's ask the frat packers, ask our listeners to dig into some of these numbers. Yeah, what are we missing? And we have Garofalo. We have a bunch of other people that can explain this to us and explain to our listeners that, because we're not digging deep enough, because I bet you it's way bigger than we think. Way bigger than we think. Let me give you a little anecdote, okay?
All right.
So I brought my beautiful oldest daughter, Harper, down to USC.
That's right.
University of South Carolina last week,
yes.
right? So I remember when I hadn't gone, my wife and daughter went and looked at the school, and they said it was very nice. They loved it. And I talked to somebody else, and I said to my buddy, I said, hey, she's thinking about going to the University of South Carolina. And he said, is that in Columbia? I said, yeah. And he goes, it's kind of a tough town, right? And then down there, I was talking to some people who were like, yeah, Columbia is different than Charleston, and it's a little bit different, tougher town. Columbia is almost perfectly freaking clean. There was 2 homeless guys. 2. There was 1 thing of graffiti on the wall, and I thought, have we forgotten what clean looks like?
Sure.
Right?
Yes.
And other people in other states were saying Columbia was dumpy, when Columbia was 5x better looking than St. Paul, 10x better looking than some parts of Minneapolis. I mean, no graffiti, none. Sure. Very diverse population, right? Not a bunch of homeless people hanging around. Granted, I was on campus, but I was downtown. I went all over the place, right? If I went down to the University of Minnesota and walked around the University of Minnesota, I would have never had the same feeling as I did in Columbia, South Carolina, right? So Columbia, South Carolina was so clean, and I thought, have we just now forgotten that when I'm driving down Snelling Avenue at County Road B and there's one person on every street corner on that corner, have I gotten just so blind to that never used to happen, right? And now I'm so used to it, I don't even think about it. The only time I think about it is when someone has their child with them sitting there on a chair in the middle of the highway. I'm thinking, why are we letting people do this?
Right.
How dangerous that is. Why are people on the street corner? That's so dangerous. Many of them have to get killed every year doing that. And I just thought, wow, other states don't accept that. When I listen to people talk about President Trump cleaning up
DC.
Washington, D.C., and people are pissed, I don't want the federal government sweeping into towns. D.C. is a different thing. It's not a state, right? It's a district. It's something different. Yep. So I'm allowing my libertarian side to forget that that's happening, right? But I don't want them rolling into New York or Baltimore or some other city that needs help. I don't want them going into Memphis. But if he cleans that city up, and people say, oh, D.C. can be a beacon of hope for people. D.C. can have great schools. D.C. can have low crime. D.C. can be clean. D.C. doesn't have to have shit on the ground and needles on the ground. Well, let's do that everywhere. Because I just was in Columbia, South Carolina, that people gave a bunch of crap to, and it was beautiful. So I don't know where I'm going with that, but I got a little mad that people were ripping on that town, and I thought, ooh, please, if you come to St. Paul, don't take this road. Let's not take Snelling and University because I don't want you seeing 19 people laying on the ground.
Well, you can't take West 7th because I think the pothole's still there.
Yeah, the pothole.
We put a traffic cone on it, but
we got a cone in there, exactly. Reavers, I did do one other thing, though.
What's that?
I invented a thought-controlled air freshener.
Really?
My wife thinks it's absolutely ridiculous, but it makes sense if you think about it. Reavers, you are the best.
Thank you, Michael. Please do us a favor, rate and review the show wherever you happen to be listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. It helps other people find the show, and it really does help us out as well, and we truly appreciate each and every single one of you. His name is Mike Fredoloni. My name is Chris Reavers. Thank you so very much for listening to the Weekly Scramble podcast. We'll talk to you again next time. Until then, cheers.